Good morning everyone and welcome to a new video, and today we're going to focus on Vechain, as Vechain has been doing really well, has been lagging behind but finally started to wake up. And not only Vechain has been doing well, but VTHO, the second token, is also doing really well, so it's ready for an analysis, and that's what we're going to do. But before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel beneath and also like the video. The channel is accelerating really fast and I am thankful for that. But do not forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, as tonight we're going to do a live stream. Vechain is accelerating and it's making new all-time highs. And then we get into the question of what type of chart should we be using, and in this case we have got the USDT chart open, and it's giving us information in which we are currently seeing that we are accelerating and making that all-time high. So what is next? What should we be using in the case of the USDT chart accelerating so fast? Well, first of all, we can see that any of these beautiful support resistance flips are constantly happening. So we do see that this entire previous resistance zone becomes support again, and then we started to accelerate after this construction in 2020, right? So then we can also see that we have been making this beautiful support resistance flip as well in January 2021, and then we started to escalate or accelerate heavily upwards. Another support resistance flip at 3.5 cents, and another one has happened at 5.8 cents. And this is all based on the daily time frame, in which we can see the exact same at 6.9, and now we are awaiting a support resistance flip to be happening at 8.3. As long as 8.3 is going to hold here, we're going to assume that we are moving further upwards. However, in the short term, if that does not provide support, next step is that we're going to see some tests of the level that we have around 6.9 to 6.5. That is the next level of support. So in a very easy concept, you're looking at those levels on the short time frame for Vechain. But what's next? How are you going to derive long-term price prediction levels for Vechain? Well, you're going to swap towards the Bitcoin chart, as that is going to give you more information based on the comparison against Bitcoin, which shows that currently we're getting into an acceleration. In the previous period, we have seen that since July 2020, Vechain has been dropping down significantly, and not only Vechain, but every altcoin has seen pain in the last quarter of last year, as Bitcoin has been accelerating heavily. However, Bitcoin has been accelerating significantly, given that Bitcoin is currently at 60k, which is 3 times the all-time high in 2017, while Vechain is just barely above the all-time high in 2017 in general, which means that there is still lots of upside to gain for Vechain, and through that you can use the Fibonacci extension tool to derive those take profit levels. But what can you see in this chart? You can see that we've been making bearish support resistance flips since the previous peak, and you can also see that during this entire run up, there's not many opportunities that you can get into the position in itself. Right now, we do see that we have a more natural and organic growth, in which we see these beautiful support resistance flips. We do see that we have seen such an accumulation phase as we have seen here, in which we do retest the previous low for support. After that, critical support zone stays support in this retest, acceleration upwards, heavy corrective move in which this entire green zone becomes support again, even got front run. And after that, we started to continue making this upwards move, in which we flipped the level at 100 sats for support, and now we're accelerating. But still more organic than what we saw in the entire impulse wave of 2020. So, deriving next entry zones, first of all, that just as on the USDT pair, you're going to look at the previous high, which is around 140 sats, that has to sustain support. If that doesn't sustain support, you're going to look at this entire region here. That might be interesting for a buy to dip approach, in which we're still looking at a potential impulse wave like we've seen here. How can you derive those take profit levels on VeChain if we can get such an acceleration move? Well, you can use the Fibonacci extension tool to derive those take profits, but they are not a guarantee for a top figure. It's still an indicator which can give you some information on where it might be topping out. So in this case, we use the previous high at 235 sats as the one. The low is the previous low at 35 sats, and therefore we can start deriving take profit levels, which we can see at 364 and at 567. As an example, and then I'm going to swap towards a different token that has been accelerating really fast. Oh, I just erased everything that I've done here. In this case, we see many squigglies, of course, and what we can see for Harmony is that we also saw a very strong impulse wave in 2020, right? However, a full retrace, just as VeChain has been doing, and after that we see nice flips of support. So in this case, the critical level that we had to hold is this entire region, got a beautiful retest and heavy continuation after flipping levels. Therefore, the next target zones were derived on the 1.618 level and 2.618 level. To derive entry points for Harmony or to see what's happening right now is that in this entire construction, the acceleration did not happen yet. So that still has to happen for VeChain. The targets were derived based on the fact of this previous low and previous high, and then we've got to 190 sats and 300 sats. After this entire run, you're going to use the information that you have in this run to derive the next take profit levels, but next to that you also have information about entry points, which is basically around 200 sats. Therefore, using this information, you can also do that on a VeChain chart in which you use the 2.618 and 1.618 as your first target points, which are 360 sats and 560 sats. Then finally, if you've seen the other video that I've posted on this channel, my expectations are that we are in a very big super cycle in which Bitcoin is going to run towards 325 to 400k. Plan B says 280k, 88k. I think we're going to overshoot that a little given that we have upwards momentum and euphoria. And next to that, we also have the fact that the upward cycle is usually way higher than people are expecting, just as the downwards is just way lower than the majority is expecting to happen. In that regard, if Bitcoin still makes a 6x from here, you can assume that even Ether and all the other assets will make a 10x or more from here still, which is way beyond your own expectations. But in that regard, we could be expecting VeChain to run to even $1 in this entire bull cycle. But I'm quite sure that if we even get close to that level, it's time to start selling your position, as there might be a turnaround for the markets. Also, another concept that is lying around VeChain is VeThor. And VTHO is essentially the gas token on the entire blockchains being used inside the ecosystem of VeChain. And you can see that there's also not many opportunities to get into this one. But I have to add on VeChain that if you want to get into this token, you should be aware what the actual functionality is of this one, and that is being used inside VeChain. So if VeChain in itself as a chart or as an investment looks topped out or looks like complete garbage, there's no point in investing in VTHO given that it's being used in the VeChain ecosystem. So if you want to start investing and you've got VTHO on your list, you should be aware that it's just used in VeChain and you should be investing in VeChain way heavier than that you're doing it in a gas token. So what are the entry points for VTHO? Just as simple as we have been doing that on many tokens, it's just these two zones. So anything that's coming down towards this region is an entry point. Also around a 7/10 of a cent, that is also an entry point. But first of all, understand the fundamentals of the project And VeChain, I think we're going to see way more expansion. But you know that I'm still very bullish on altcoins, and I'm expecting still a big surge to happen until this summer. So do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Do not forget to like this video, and do not forget to tune in tonight at 19:30 Central European time for the live stream. We are moving it back 30 minutes, as that is way more suitable for the majority of the people. I see you again tonight. Take care of your family and enjoy trading.